Guys, welcome to Construct Your Life. This three-part series with my man Nick. You know, he is a little bit of a wild card, bought and sold multiple businesses, just started a podcast. When him and I get together, we have no idea what we're going to talk about. Probably gurus, probably something else, but it's always an entertaining conversation because I love the way he thinks. So make sure you jump into this episode and enjoy. We'll see you in there.
Constructing your life is about much more than just building a bank account. Each week, join mindset coach Austin Linney as he interviews guests who are constructing their dream lives and impacting the world around them on a daily basis. If you're an entrepreneur or wanting to start a business, or you just want to hear motivating stories of how others have overcome the odds, you are in the right place. And now for your host, Austin Linney.
Guys, welcome back to part two. You know, the problem is that when I give the guests the freedom to talk about, I have no idea what's coming my way. And with most guests, I wouldn't be worried. But this one, he's got me, intrigued. So we're going to see, folks, what he wants to talk about.
Don't be worried.
What do you want to talk about, my man?
Something I'm knee deep in right now.
Uh-oh.
Have you seen over the last couple of months the number of influencers who have launched a podcast? Cody Sanchez has launched a podcast. Girdley has launched a podcast. Clint Fiore and Patrick Dietrich have launched a podcast. Andrew Wilkinson has launched a podcast. I got to be missing somebody. But they've all launched podcasts at like the same time. Why? So I keep asking myself this question. I don't necessarily have a perfect answer, but what do you think? Why do you think they've launched podcasts right now?
I was on a call with a company. I do a podcast for a company. It's newer.
Okay.
We're like 20 episodes in. They are a marketing agency that handles businesses. And they are amazing at what they do. But they know what they do very well. They don't know the podcast space. So we're helping them, and I'm the host and all this stuff. And I said, podcast is the messiest form of marketing that exists out there. And it's the truth.
Okay.
Because you can't control the guest, you can't control the speaker, you can't control the quality of their video. It's not in a box. It's messy. We don't know what's going to happen.
It's true.
But here's what it is. It's the only, not the only, but it's one of the mainly only platforms where you can take a 30-minute thing and turn it into 40 pieces of content. A blog, a short video, a YouTube video. So that's why I think I'm more concerned about the distribution quality of said content than I am the content. What are the avenues of the distribution? That's why I think everybody's doing it, and moreover, it lives forever on YouTube or Evolve. That's my philosophy of it.
I think it's a piece of it, but why now? Why are they getting into it now?
Here's a better question.
Okay.
Here's the question I can't answer to save my life. If you have $100 million worth of businesses, why are you doing a podcast? That's the question I can't answer. Because let me tell you something right now, cowboy. When Daddy's rolling in that, you good luck finding me. I'm going to be in a mountain in Nepal. But hear me out. Hear me out, though. Hear me out. This all changed for me last week. Rob Dyrdek, which I tried to get you on, is my spirit animal. All right. He said something that blew my freaking mind. Okay. Oh my God. All right. He blew my mind. So he is writing 3 books right now with a piece of software. And he said, I'm going to strategically record videos for the next 10 years. And then I'm never going to record videos again. And they'll live forever. He goes, do you think I want to be on camera at 55 years old? No. And so now we've changed our entire plan where for the next 10 years, I'm going to film as many videos as I can. And that's going to be my evergreen content moving forward. Because at that phase in my life, I might do interviews or do something. I'm like the amount of that I'm pumping out right now. So you said something snarkily, and I wonder if you truly believe it. you were I don't know if I should share stuff in your group
I want
that
to
you
hear
were
it.
sharing, but you were basically said
No.
like, well, you said Gurley seems to want to be famous.
Yeah.
You know, and like maybe they just enjoy the attention. I don't know. I don't have the answer, but you know, Andrew Wilkinson is a fucking billionaire. Like, so like, you know, and
But
I
Andrew
met him. He's a
Wilkinson is
great man.
boring.
So like, I'm just
Like when I hear him on those podcasts, he'll get better. It'll happen over time, dude. He lulls me to sleep when I listen to Andrew Wilkinson on My First Million. And Girdley's like still figuring it out. I think that there's 3 reasons that somebody that
okay.
rich would get into a podcast. You ready? Number 1, ego. And maybe ego is the
Okay.
wrong word. They want to be famous. They want to be known.
Mhm.
They get energy from it. They like it. And that's not a bad thing. It's just if that's how they're wired. That's how they're wired, right? And that's one of the ways they're getting it out of their system. Number 2 is they're not satiated. They want to continue to grow their brand. So Andrew Wilkinson's at 100 million, 200, 500, whatever it is. That dude wants to be a billionaire. And he's looking at the highest leverage ways to grow his brand, and that's going to be through a podcast. And then the third reason is they are just curious and they want to meet cool people. I think the majority are those first 2 reasons. But I think all of them are seeing the power of brand and distribution, and they're hopping into the game. And this is why I'm thinking this way. Tiny has started making investments. Tiny, for those who don't know, is Andrew Wilkinson's firm. They are looking at buying businesses and pairing them with an influencer. Why? Because the influencer has distribution at this point. And there are a couple of main channels for that distribution, right? There could be Twitter, there could be Facebook, Instagram. Podcasts are one of them. YouTube is one of them, right? So I think Andrew has a thesis, and you can see it in the way that he's investing in companies. And he thinks you own the distribution, you can maximize the value of your brand. So I think he's just trying to grow his distribution by hopping on a podcast. And I think the rest of them are following suit because they know that the power of distribution trumps everything. Look at Mr. Beast. His Feastables aren't great. He had that burger company that he launched, wasn't great, but his distribution kills it. Anything he launches is going to be successful because he has distribution for it. And I think all of them are looking at content as the new form of distribution. It's not buying advertisement. For the Super Bowl, it's getting as many eyeballs for as long as possible onto you so that any lever that you pull when you launch is going to be successful. That's why I think that they're doing it. I think they're all seeing more and more the value of having an audience.
Guys, let me take a minute to tell you about my buddies over at Lead Hub, Ben and Aaron, the best humans I know. Not only are they amazing at marketing for trade companies, but Ben started his HVAC company in his garage, sold it for multi-million dollars. So when this guy talks, I listen. When we took over Dietz Mechanical, we had 22 reviews in 22 years. In 7 short months, we went from 22 reviews to 107. We went from a 4.2 to a 4.7. We tripled our Facebook presence and we tripled our calls. If you're an HVAC, plumbing, electric, landscaping company, and you're looking for a no BS approach to marketing, you're looking for people who have done it before, you got to go to leadhub.net. I mean, the bigger issue, though, is in that same time frame, you launched a podcast. Kind of.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat their lunch, dude.
How dare you? How dare you follow in their footsteps?
I do think, especially with AI, brands are not going to be automated away. There will be new brands, there will be AI brands, all that stuff. But if you have a personal following, a personal brand, whatever it is, your charisma, you're the way you think, that's a moat that you're not going to be able to compete away. So I think they're being strategic in widening their moat by building their brand.
Damn it. I shouldn't. No, I'm not going to tell you because I'm not going to give it away.
Oh,
but your thesis is very important because I'm about to build a company on that thesis that I've had for 5 years. So
I love it.
Look, the world is becoming very fragmented when it comes to business and things move quickly. And I think the ultimate king of everything is really the distribution channels. Like, really, it's as simple as that, right? Like, like, perfect example, HVAC space, right? We do things that go against the grain. Does my sign on a little league field really matter? Or is it a feel-good thing for the community? Or do I make money off of it? I don't know, right? But it's a representation of the brand, right? There are other things we can do, which is run a Google ad, which makes me more money. But it's an overall picture of distribution of the company, right? Branded vehicles. I want to, all the guys that work for me, they're kids who are in sports. I invest in their, that's just the right thing to do. They're kids sports and all that stuff like that, right? But then I also get 47 million requests also. And so should I just invest, and so it's this overall thing of like, how do we look as a company? And then where's the distribution that people are seeing us, right? But here's the problem. I stopped wearing my company's logo on any of my podcasts because there are people that listen to my show and I have an opinion and I have to be very careful with certain things I say because some of my employees listen to my podcast and the community. So am I going to get my brand in trouble? Meaning my business's brand is not my personal brand. So that's the game that you have to play. And it gets a little dicey. I've never thought about it before I own this business.
It can get dicey, but I think that's going away where you can have a different brand for your business and a different person.
You want me to tell you a story? You want me to tell you the craziest story I ever heard in my life?
Austin,
company doing stories. 21 million in HVAC in Kansas. Jeez. All the things went down a couple years ago with the riots. The owner of the business decided to make his viewpoint known on Facebook, how he felt about the riots that were going down.
Okay.
The town revolted. It got so bad that the employees had to have a police escort from the office to their car. They were running the vans off the road, and the business went bankrupt. 44 people lost their jobs.
Bankrupt?
Mm-hmm.
That's insanity, man. What did he say? Was it bad?
The woman that worked for him for 10 years consulted for us for 6 months. It wasn't ideal, what he said. It was a very hard line.
It wasn't ideal.
But what I'm saying is, I asked her, were you upset with what he said, or were you upset that he put 44 people's jobs in jeopardy? As an owner of a business, maybe it's not the best thing to put your personal shit out there and viewpoint when you have 44 people's jobs on them. I'm just saying, it's a delicate dance, man.
I agree. I'm with you, but it's not going away. It's not going away.
No,
influencers coming into business.
And if you think as a CEO or a company that you're not your own media source, you're missing the boat.
Well, that was it. That was my one thing.
I love it, guys. Be careful. Don't don't ruin your company by saying something stupid. I don't know what to say.
Don't say stupid crap.
Yeah,
it's just the way it rolls.
There you go. Said perfectly. Share it with some friends. We'll see you next time.